from just a couple of little things, but some main topics on some key points tonight. I want to talk about, shout out to Mr. Bob Proctor. If y'all know Bob Proctor, drop some ones in the chat box. All right. And man, VP, he actually passed away last year this month. All right. So I know I just want to get some key takeaways from Bob Proctor on tonight. We'll give him some love. All right. So it was a young lady. She was sharing a blog, and she was just sharing some things that how he impacted her life. And I felt like I could reference the same thing, because I had one moment in my life I was binging on Bob Proctor so much, because it's so simple once you understand, like, yeah, we just got to figure out what it is that we want and just go after it. We don't have to have special degrees or nothing like that. Like God, like Steve said, God gave us the abilities, he gave us the wisdom, everything we need to get to where we want to go. And so that's what we really, really have to understand. So I want to touch base with Bob Proctor on tonight. Y'all drop some praying hands in the chat box. RIP to Bob Proctor, right? This is his year anniversary. He passed away at 87 years old, right? Isn't that amazing, right? He was working every single day up until his last breath, like 87, still trucking and still going, right? So I pray that we all have longevity, and we all have that grace and health and strength and endurance in our older years as well. But just moving forward real quick. So it's 10 things I want to focus on tonight. But before I get there, I want to share something I thought of. I was like, in regards to those 10 things, it's basically, talk about your habits and things of that nature. But I want you guys to remember, every 21 days, your routine will be revealed. Every 21 days, your routine will be revealed. Every 90 days, your habits will be revealed. Every 52 weeks, your identity will be revealed. Your life will be a reflection of your belief, your execution, and your philosophies. All right. So that's something I thought of. And I was just typing some things, and I was reflecting. And I was like, it takes 21 days to, start to instill that routine, but it takes 63 days, basically almost, 2 months, we'll say about 90 days to have that routine go to a habit, and that habit become your identity, and that identity become your lifestyle. So that was something I created, and I just want to hope that set seat with you guys. All right. So first thing I want to ask everybody on tonight is, are you creating disabilities in your life? Are you creating disabilities? And what I mean by that is, a lot of times when we think about disability, we think about the physical side, right? We think about things that are tangible, things that we can see. But I want to ask those of us who do have our decent health and strength, when you think about the word disability, a lot of times we think about the physical, or it's also referenced as a mental condition, and limits your abilities, and limits your activities, and limits your movements. I want you to also consider that they call it, a lot of times disabilities it's a disadvantage, right? It's out of your control. It's an unfavorable circumstance, and it's an impairment. But I want you to think not even metaphorically, but I want you to think about the things that you don't feed. I want you to think about the things that you are allowing to starve in your life, that's creating a disability. Meaning, if you are avoiding discipline and focus and consistency, it creates the opposite, right? So if you're, for those who are looking for validation, it creates doubt. For those of you who are looking for motivation, and motivation, to me, it says motivation is, wanting something, but then there's a lot of times we reference motivation with us looking for something, looking for a third party, looking for someone or something to help us take action. Does that make sense, guys? Yes or no in the chat box. So I want you to understand, when a lot of times when you're excited, you get that idea, you get that goal, and boom, you're motivated, you're ready to rock and roll, you're ready to hit the floor running. And so you feeling motivated, right? And so for me, your desire kicked off your motivation. Okay. The idea kicked off your motivation because it was something triggered you. But motivation, a lot of times we reference that to something on the external plane or a third party to give us that boost to start taking action. And versus understanding that once the motivation leaves, that's where discipline and commitment is supposed to take place. But if you don't act on the idea, if you don't act on those goals and those dreams, well, then you start becoming distant from your motivation, distant from your dreams, distant from your goals, and you begin to induce. Then you're looking for, you're needing to be stimulated, you need it to be induced. Right now, being stimulated is powerful to a certain degree if you know how to use it constructively. I tell people all the time, when you understand what your goals are. We understand where you're going. You want to go put yourself in a stimulation. What am I saying? Oh, Jesus. You may want the car, the house, the degree, the communication, the relationship, the experience. You may want better communication skills. It may be different things that you want. Well, put yourself inside the atmosphere, okay? To put yourself in the atmosphere to trigger your senses. So when your desire is high, a lot of times, for me, desire doesn't need desire and motivation are two totally different things. Like I said, motivation, you're looking for something on the outside to give you that ability to take action, whereas desire is, for me, is supernatural. It's where God has said, he's attracted to your desires, to give you the desires of your heart. So understand, the difference in the two. And so, like I said, you're looking to be induced, you're looking to be lit. It says lagging. I'm lagging, guys. I'm lagging. Talk to me. Yes or no? Yes or no?
You're good, B.
Oh, they say I'm good. Okay, we're gonna keep rocking and rolling. I think it's the other person's signal. So yes, as I was stating, guys, motivation versus desire. So know the difference. Are you always needing to be motivated? Goodness. and do you have or do you have a strong desire? Okay. Now, once you can understand the difference, understand when motivation starts to subside, your commitment, your willpower, your discipline has to take place. All right. It's always there underlining, but now it has to really override. It really has to start intervening on your behalf. So what you don't feed, you starve. Okay. So when you don't feed working out, you don't feed your health, you don't feed good eating habits, you're starving what? Having a healthy lifestyle. You're feeding into high blood pressure, diabetes, and things of that nature. When you're not watching what you're eating, what you're taking in, sodium. We get so caught up in just thinking that we could just eat any and everything just because it's on the shelf. But you have to realize, to a certain degree, they really don't care about your health, guys. All right, because if they're giving it to you in the first place, then it shows some level of disconnect, right? You got to have your own self-discipline to be aware of those things, right? When you're dealing with your finances, right? If you don't pick up the book to learn about better financial education, when you don't take the seminar, you don't take the class, you're starving yourself. And so now you're feeding poverty, you're feeding lack of money management and things of that nature. So just remember, whatever you don't feed, you are starving. Now, where does Bob Proctor come into this equation? I want to bring Bob Proctor in because there's 10 key things that we have to take away to pursue our goals, to achieve our goals. The first thing is always work for the goal, right? We know we're supposed to be doing the work, right? But a lot of people get lost along the trail. They don't know where they want to go. And people doubt themselves and they start looking for guidance outside of themselves, all right? That's where their motivation starts to kick in. And so they start asking other people for validation. They start asking other people questions and asking other people what they think instead of asking themselves what it is that they think, what it is that they want. Should I quit this? Should I start this? Should I stop that? And it's cool to have some type of insight and have conversations. But at the end of the day, guys, if you don't know what you want, you don't know what your goal is. All right. So you can ask everybody else answers to the questions you need to ask yourself, but they're asking it and they're going to answer your questions, but you still got to know where you want to go. Right. So you should always work with your goal and know what your goal is, so you can start using that as this gravitational pull so you can know which direction to go towards. Right. Use it as your GPS system, as we all say. Right. And so that means you need to be fully aware of what it is that you want to achieve. So that's first note is be fully aware of what it is that you want to achieve, and then know it in detail. All right. So if you want to purchase a home, if you want the degree, you should know the school, the academics, the cost per semester, et cetera, et cetera. If you want to purchase the home, not just the location and the pricing and the land, but what are the details of the home, color of the cabinets, doorknobs, floors, carpet, granite countertops, right? Silver, gold. You have to know the details, because once you begin to know the details, then guess what? Your desire starts kicking in, and the universe can say, okay, we know what this person actually wants. Because guys, if you just have a broad synopsis of what it is that you want, then guess what? You're just going to get anything handed to you, right? Or maybe nothing at all, because you haven't told the universe what it is that you truly want. All right. You have to understand the atmosphere, the sounds, and get yourself in touch with the feelings and all of that, the smells. All right. So you know what it is that you want. All right. If you want to expand your business, if you want to build a business, you got to be aware of how much do you want to make? How many customers do you want? Who do you want to serve? What are your demographics? What's the community? How much do you want to earn? How much time do you want to put into making these things happen? All right. How much time do you want to put into making these decisions? How much responsibility do you truly want to have? You have to describe your business. You have to describe your life, because you have to know what it is that you want. If you don't know what you want, you are not going anywhere. All right. And understand that, know the specs and know the specifications, know what's required, and understand, do you want that level of responsibility? Are you willing to pay the price? Do you want that level of work? If not, then you need to revamp what it is that you truly want. All right. If you're looking for a spouse, if you're looking for a partner, what do they look like? What are their character traits? And understand, you got to look within yourself. You know, a lot of times I tell people, just focus on developing yourself, focus on growing yourself, focus on where you want to go, and you'll meet that person along the path, right? Many people make the mistake of throwing themselves into a relationship with someone who's not a match, and because they haven't decided what type of person they want to attract. So they pick something at random, whatever life throws at them, and they just go with it, right? So, you know, just because somebody twinkle their little eyes at you and do whatever, that doesn't mean that's the person for you. You have to make sure that you first of all, are you ready to receive? I tell people, are you ready to receive? What value do you bring to the table, right? So you also have to be mindful of that. Pray to God to prepare you, right? Give you discernment. Pray for those things. Number 2, set big goals. All right. Big goals. We always talk about A type, C type, A type, B type, C type goals, right? A type goal is something that you know you can do. All right. A B type goal is something that you think you can achieve because you have the skills to do it. Okay. A type, you know you can do it. B, you think you can do it because you have the skills to do it. All right. And then C type is so big, you have no idea how it's even going to get done. All right. When JFK sent the astronauts to the moon, you know, they had a plan to do that within 10 years. They had no idea how they was going to do that. When Henry Ford, they was working on the V8 engine, he didn't know how it was going to get done, but he just said, figure it out. Right. So once God gives you the vision, guys, you have to understand he is also equipped you. Now it's up to you to discover, right, what that looks like. But as long as you follow the path, you keep trying, you put yourself in that space of, you know, I always tell people, you got to treat life like a scientific experiment. You keep going. You try this way, it don't work. What's the hypothesis this time? What's the hypothesis the second time, the third time? See, you don't know what it is. You don't know the exact route. So you got to keep going until you figure it out. It's exactly what I've done when I started learning how to play the drums. I had to figure it out. I even taught myself to play, you know, they would call me a backwards drummer, right? Because I'm a right-handed person, but I taught myself to play like a left-handed person. Guess what? I did it anyway. And I kept figuring it out. I figured it out, and I'm still able to play. All right. But I just kept trying different ways, different techniques. When I started learning how to become a day trader, professional trader, there are different ways, different techniques. That didn't work. Throw it in the trash. That didn't work. Throw it in the trash. Well, that worked a little bit. Let me put that on the shelf. Okay. I like this. I like that. And so it took trial and error to figure it out. And guess what? Boom. Now that is a no-brainer for me. I don't have any doubt when it comes to, professional trading. So you have to what? You have to be aware of the goals. All right. So what are your A-type goals? What are your B-type? And what are your C-type goals? Okay. And that's something for us all to think about, because C-type is going to be over a span of years. All right. Now, number 3, you have to be the person you want to become. All right. We hear this stuff over and over and over again. And my question is, like I said at the beginning of the call, if we hear these things over and over again, we have to figure out why we don't implement them. Right? Why is it not a part of our lifestyle? Why is it not a part of our routine, especially if we study it enough? Okay. So I said, 21 days is going to reveal your routine. 90 days is going to reveal your habits. 52 weeks is going to reveal your identity. All right. And time will reward you. Then you begin to develop the lifestyle. And that would be a product of who you became over time. Right. So number 3, be the person you want to become. All right. Now you need to assume that the goal is already achieved. That's the first rule. Assume. All right. I write that one down. Assume that the goal is already achieved. Okay. And then you have to say, I'm so happy and grateful now that I am a billionaire. I'm so happy and grateful now that I have 190 customers today. I'm so happy and grateful. I had a moment right before this call. I said, God, I'm so happy and grateful. I needed something to happen. It didn't happen man, God is crazy, y'all. God is so crazy. Like I said, God, I'm so happy and grateful now I was praying for something in my business, and I said, I put a time on. I said about 7 o'clock, and it happened by 7 o'clock. And I called my mom, and I was like, and I sent my family a video, and I was like, y'all, this is what just happened to me. And because I have absolute trust in God, like you can have what we call intellectual assent, where you have this awareness and you feel like you believe in God, right, to a certain degree because you've heard about him. And maybe you automatically pray to him in your time of need. But if there's no relationship, then there's no trust. All right. So you can have no true trust, or you may know him, right? But do you actually trust him? So that's my question for you tonight as well. Now, you should feel the joy of already having achieved the goal. Assume the goal is already done, all right, that you have it right now, and then feel the joy of it already, of having it. Feel the joy of having it done, having it in your possession right now, the joy of having it completed, all right? So you want to, if you anything that you want to achieve, all right, you got to say you are it, all right? So what are you on tonight, ladies and gentlemen? What are you? What are you to your family? Who are you to yourself? What do you want to be known as? What are you in your profession, your work, your job, your career? Who are you? And you got to say that today, whether it's not, if it's not in your hands yet, it's not tangible. It's not about that. It's about who you are today. I've been saying I'm a 7-figure trader for years, right? Guess what? We're on the way. There's trial and error. There's things that has happened, right? So I'm prepared. I'm ready. I'm ready for the lessons. I'm ready for the mistakes. I'm ready for anything that, okay, well, that didn't work. Let me try it this way. There's still trial and error that's going along the way, right? So you have to be aware of those things, of who you want to become. Achieving the goal is about growing. It's about changing. So the trick to grow and change into that person is those who believe they've already achieved the goal even before it has happened. That is the difference between myself and so many people that I see. You know, I was going through some old files that I had over the past couple of years, and just hundreds of people who started this journey, different journeys with me, and different things that we wanted to learn. I'm just like, I know that most of these people haven't even, then they quit. They stopped along the way. Maybe they didn't like to do it. Maybe they didn't like the process. But I was like, man, it's few people that I've seen who pursue different goals that made it to the end. And they're still learning, they're still progressing. Why? Because they're welcoming change. They're welcoming the course correction, the failures. Stop thinking of failures as a negative thing. All right. Think about the person who has what it is that you want. All right. How do they behave? How do they think? What is their work ethic? Right. And be careful when you are looking at people, guys, to make sure that you're taking away the positive attributes about their success and about the things that they have, because sometimes you can follow people who are driven and who are successful, but they're rude, you know, or they just may have something negative about them. You don't want to pick up those bad habits. All right. So how does the goal person make decisions? All right. How does the person you model after make decisions? What kind of decisions do they make? What kind of are the decisions made in the same type of way that you would do it? And what kind of decisions, what type of disciplines do they have? What type of attitude do they have? Like I just said, be careful to be able to discern what it is that you can take away to add value to yourself. All right. You must have a great attitude, and you must see yourself being the person you want to become. All right. Because ultimately it's about who we become. Number 4, you got to get into a new habitat. All right. Somebody drop some houses or some trees or something. Drop something with some environments, all right, a beach, if you will, all right? Drop the new habitat, all right? What you have to understand is you have to start living your life of the person you want to become, okay? And that means submerging yourself into that person's habitat. So let me give you guys an example. If your goal is to move into a certain house, go to that house every single day. That's what I did with the place that I live in now. Every Sunday, I would come to this facility. It was still under construction. All right. It had concrete and dirt all over the place. Right. But they showed me the model on paperwork before it was actually built. So I said, you know what? I'm going to roll with it. Okay. So, and guess what? I came every single Sunday. I took pictures. I said, God, I'm so happy and grateful now that I live at X, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then next thing I know, it started to happen. It started to evolve. Even when I thought there was going to be hiccups along the road, God made a way. He provided. Right. So understand, put yourself in a habitat, make it, if it's a certain lifestyle, start living that lifestyle right now to the best of your abilities. All right. Maybe you cannot afford to go sleep in a first class flight or have a first class flight or go sleep at the first class hotel. Everything is not always just luxury. Well, depends on your taste, but it's not to say you just got to go chase after everything that is 5-star, but it's to put yourself in this level of energy. I was talking to my best friend the other day and I said, I'm starting to realize, you really do get what you pay for, because the more that I do put myself in these new environments and these new atmospheres, the service is different. The etiquette of people is different. The ignorance the ignorance starts to completely go away. People are still gonna have all types of walks of life, but if they are ignorant, at least they hide it well, right? You start to deal with less negative people. I don't know. It's just what I've been experiencing lately. All right. If you go to that hotel, just go there for a cup of coffee, right? If you want to go, maybe it's a car, go smell it, touch it, go to the lot. All right. If it's a dream person, all right, don't be out there stalking folks looking crazy, but look at different characteristics, create the type of person, write it down. A person of good character, a person who loves their family, a person who has a relationship with God, a person who loves themselves, who take care of their health, a person who will love themselves unconditionally and work hard for themselves. And you want to make sure you bring that same value to the table. Give yourself flowers. If you want to attract love, start by being love. Compliment people daily. Do random acts of kindness through social media, or random acts of kindness in person when you go out. All right, keep some gift cards on you, or just keep some nice notes on you just to hand out to people. Give love so that you can begin to attract that love. Visualize it, live it, feel it, and be it. I'm gonna say it one more time. You have to focus on being that person. So visualize it, live it, feel it, be it. Feeling is the most important part, because if you don't feel it, then it's not backed with desire. And if there's no desire, then it's merely just a want, and you won't attract that to your life. All right. So number 4, get into a new habitat. All right. So I want you guys to drop in a chat box for me real quick. Find a chat box and just share with me some things just one thing. You're gonna drop all your business, but what's one thing that you guys you feel would be a good idea for what we call visualization? What is something that you feel like somebody can go do and experience? Or what is something that you personally feel like you can go do to go experience, right? So for instance, while you guys are thinking, I have piano every single week. And after I leave my class, I go down this particular road. So my area is surrounded by basically $1 million homes. So the area I'm around, if I go down certain roads, it's just nothing but these big, gigantic homes. And I'm like, man, that's so cool. Like some of them are just so big, and it makes you feel like, man, that's a lot of house. You know what I'm saying? But it puts you in this different vibration, because it's like, what does it look like? What does it feel like to walk inside of all of this construction, But I go down a certain road. And the funny part about it is I accidentally drove down the road a couple of weeks ago because I missed my turn. So I'm gonna just keep going. I'm just figure out my way home. And here I'm like, man, it's another road with all these houses. Why do I say that? Because a lot of people may think about the material side of it. They may think about, everybody don't want a big house. Everybody, that's cool if that's your flow. But I believe if I continue to grow and become the best version of myself, and the God wants nothing but abundance and overflow for my life, then that's just something that you can naturally afford. And it's not just about the material possession, but it's about having the financial comfort, the foundation of just having it in your pocket, right? So when I go down this road, I'm just like, man, this is nice. Like I just made it a habit now that I go down this road every single week, because it makes me feel different. I'm gonna say it again. The key word is feel different. It begins to make me stretch my thinking. Wow, what type of person do I need to become to afford a type of house if I even wanted to buy this type of house? So that's what you got to get into the mindset of. You don't have to always make these purchases. You don't have to always go buy the Bentley. We don't have to buy these big significant things. But the point is, you got to stretch your thinking to say, well, what do I need to do to become the type of person that can afford it? Maybe you buying the mansion is you giving it to a family in Africa, or starting a homeless foundation here in the States, right? Maybe you buying the Bentley is you going to create a homeless shelter, or creating these, redevelopment homes and stuff like that. So you can take that same amount of capital, but put it somewhere and do good. So that's what you guys have to understand. What type of person do I need to become to afford this type of impact, to afford it? And if you want to use a type of lifestyle, right? Stretch your thinking. That's the whole point of getting this exposure. But if you keep seeing the same environments, the same thing, you'll keep having the same thing, guys. It doesn't challenge your thinking, right? Number 5, and we're almost done. You got to sacrifice something, okay? Something that you have to make room for something new. Some of you guys are so complacent with what you have already. Like, I just can't be that person, right? And it's okay if that's you, but understand us upon us being human beings, guys, is to continue to grow, to stretch ourselves, to go and be all that we can be. And if you're comfortable with just a little bit that you have, you can be grateful. But if you're comfortable, but yet then at the back of your mind, you still have these dreams and goals, well, then don't contradict, don't be a hypocrite in your belief. Don't contradict what it is that you want. You got to make room. Somebody drop in the chat box, make room. We got to make room for what it is that we want, right? Make room, make room. Anybody ready to make room on tonight for what it is that they want, right? Better relationships, better health, better finances, better travel, better leisure, better lifestyle, better impact, leadership, better businesses, better careers and promotions and professions, better gifts, better talents. We got to make room, make room, make room. So that you got to understand, we got to make room for something new. What are you willing to let go of? That means you got to let go of your poor thinking. Now, when I say poor, I don't mean broke. All right. I mean, your bank account may be on E, but that don't mean you have a poor mindset. It's just, you just having some trials in your life. Understand, you got to let go of poor thinking. What am I looking for? You got to stop leaning into what it is that you don't have. Stop speaking about what you don't have. I kind of cringe a lot of times when people are speaking to me. Something happened tonight and I didn't say nothing, but it's just like, man, when do we stop talking about things we don't have? When do we stop living in this cycle of being poor? Like it's like, man, we have access to so much knowledge, so much information. And again, you got to become the person today, right? So stop edifying what you don't have. Stop edifying your lack. Just go out here and grind and get it. Do what you got to do, right? What are you willing to let go of, right? Maybe it's an old story. Maybe it's old thinking. Maybe it's old people. Like I remember back in 2014, I cut off everything that was not benefiting my life. All right. Everything. All right. My family was talking about fasting tonight. They was talking about drinking and smoking and reading more of the word. I'm like, bro, I already do all that. Like, I just had to reflect, like, wow, I'm already doing all that because I started to let go of things that don't add value to my life, right? So what if those things can just become your lifestyle? Make sure you're pouring into yourself so you can make sure you're pouring into yourself, clean out things that don't add value. Remember, guys, if you have some people, another thing is some people they hate their job. Don't hate your job. Don't hate your job. You can dislike it, all right? But what do you have to do? A-type goal, make a new resume, right? Send out some new applications, start a new business, but be grateful. Leverage what you have until you can have what it is that you want, so you can do what it is that you want, all right? It could be a habit that you're watching. Another thing, make room. You may be on social media too much. I don't even have time for social media right now at all, right? I go in and make a little post and I got to go. I got to get back to work. I have so much work I'm doing right now. Then Netflix. I almost cussed it. Man, let me take a little break and cut some cartoons on. Like I watch cartoons heavy. I said, man, I don't have time to watch no cartoons. I ate my food in like 15 minutes and went right back to work because I was trying to decompress. You got to understand those moments. You may be on the phone too long, having pointless conversations. You may be watching TV too much. You may be sleeping in too late. You may be watching streaming lives. You just may be doing things, guys. You can do those things, but do it in moderation. Because if we want something new, we can't be investing our time into the things that are creating lack, the things that are creating stagnant in our life, or being stagnant in our life. So you got to be aware of those things. Okay. And so 6, wanting more money is good. Somebody say it's good. Wanting more money is good, baby. All right. You have to first have the correct philosophy on money. Now, I always tell people, richest man in Babylon, Science of Getting Rich will tell you the right philosophy on money, because money is this little piece of this little sticky pad. All right. We just gave it some writing and gave it a note and say, hey, I promise this is worth $100. I promise this is worth $1, right? Money is just it's a conversation. That's the first thing. Money is just a conversation. So how much money are you comfortable earning? Somebody drop that in the chat box. How much money are you comfortable saying you will earn? How much money are you comfortable saying you will earn? Right? Comfortable saying. Don't just throw nothing out there in the wind. Is $5,000 a month comfortable for you? I'm so happy and grateful now to earn $5,000 a month. I'm so happy and grateful now to earn $25,000 a month. When does it make you feel like it's? When does that feeling of distance start to take effect in you? Somebody be transparent. What's your number? How much money are you comfortable saying you will earn per month? I am so happy and grateful now, right, that I earn $1 million a month. I'm so happy and grateful now that I earn $10,000 a month. You got to know that number. See, if you don't know that number, then you got some work to do. There is something unnerving about that question, right? Because it's so true about so many people. They're uncomfortable with money because they got the wrong philosophy with money. They think that everybody, I don't know where that mindset comes where money isn't a good thing, but yet we still got people on the streets. We got people who are still killing and robbing and destroying because they don't have money. We got people being homeless because they don't have money. We got so much evil because people have money. That is the number one challenge that people face. Divorce rate over 50% because people don't have money. Because we've trained society to believe that money is a negative thing, or that, just it's okay with having lack. No, it ain't, because it sucks. All right. It really, really sucks. Right. So many people are ashamed of wanting more money. You got to make sure that's not you on tonight. And if it is you, you got some work to do. Read The Richest Man in Babylon and read The Science of Getting Rich. Okay. And also read The Millionaire Next Door. All right. So understand this. Are you ashamed of wanting more money? All right. Because that's completely wrong. Okay. What makes you strive for more money? You go to work every single day just to pay the bills. That's enough for you. Right. But you told me these goals. So you got to want more money. How many people want to travel the world? Yes or no in the chat box. You want to have some seasons in your life where maybe you go work hard for 90 days and then you take a month and travel, then work hard another 90 days. You take a month and travel. Or maybe you take half of the year you work, half of the year you travel. Right. Right. Well, how do we travel? You need what? You need what? What do you need to travel? Because even if you say credit card, you still need money. You had to spend the money to get the points, right? What do you want to retire your family? You want to retire your mom? You want to retire your family, your sister, your dad, your brother, your spouse? What does that require? All right. You want to have a healthier lifestyle. What does that require? Being able to purchase good food, healthy food, right? So everything at the end of the day, guys, it requires a transaction. It requires that conversation. It requires money. So as you strive for more, at the end of the day, you're striving for more money. So be okay with saying that. All right. Guess what? You'll never hear a rich person saying they don't want more money. Okay. It's the same force of nature that where a plant grows. From this, it follows good. It follows good to set it. I'm sorry, from this, it's always good to set big goals, all right, to set money. Money is energy. It's an accurate measure of how you're progressing towards your goal. It's an accurate measure of how you're progressing towards your goal. Are you comfortable making more money than your dad did? Are you comfortable making more money than your parents did? Are you comfortable making more money than your entire family combined? All right, you got to ask yourself these questions, guys. Are you ready to earn more than your previous employer? Heck yes. The answer is yes to everything. All right. So where is your limit? Try to push it. Okay. Stay focused and take action every single day. Let go of the past. It ain't there anymore. Don't let your current circumstances limit you. All right. The only way that your past is still present is when you haven't changed your thinking. Whew, that was good. The only way your past is still present is when you haven't changed your thinking. All right. So we hear that a lot. Past is the past. Well, it's only the past if you haven't learned anything new. It's only the past if you didn't take a class, read the book, turn on the audio. Right. And so that's what makes me cringe is I see people still expecting changes, but they're still making the same decisions, relying on the same thinking. They haven't done anything different. All right. And it breaks my heart, especially when you try to help them out. All right. So you got to let go of the past, but you also have to let go of your past thinking. So let's say it that way. You have to let go of your past thinking. All right. These things are not who you are. They're just relics of your past story once you change your thinking. Okay. And I said this on another call. You can change your thinking and not change your subconscious mind. Okay. You can change your thoughts all day, but not change your subconscious thinking. All right. So what does that mean? Subconscious version. I hate going to the gym. Conscious version, I'm gonna go to the gym today. I'm gonna go to the gym every day of the month. Start a March, I'm gonna hit the gym every day. That's your conscious mind talking. That's the version of you. You lying. All right. You're lying because you haven't even started with preparing yourself to change the routine. You're just saying it. You're seeing somebody just saying it. Can't just be saying stuff all willy-nilly. All right. The subconscious version of you is your true identity. All right. So that's the conversation you need to have with yourself. That's the real conversation you need to have with yourself. All right. Don't ever focus on what you don't want because you'll get more of it. Do not focus on what you don't want because you get more of it. You got to think ahead at all times. Do what needs to be done. Ask yourself every day, what is the best goal achieving activity? All right. BGAA, not a BBL. What is the best goal achieving activity? All right. That I can do today to achieve my goal. The rewards for lack of discipline are immediate. Y'all hear me? The reward for lack of discipline are immediate, but they never compare to a measurable reward for having discipline. Today's pleasures, today's pleasures will never exceed tomorrow's fortune. All right. So that's the person who goes to the beach instead of owning the beach. All right. I ain't saying you gotta own the beach, but y'all get what I'm trying to say. Right. Keep it simple. Stop making stuff so complicated, y'all. Okay. Just make a decision, get emotionally involved with it, and you'll track every single thing that you do. Just keep taking action. You have to get this in your mind. Y'all ready? Get this in your mind. It's called the power of assumption. It's the only prerequisite to everything that you want. Y'all ready for it? The power of assumption. POA. Somebody drop POA in the chat box. The power of assumption. It is the greatest shortcut to anything that y'all want. The power of assumption is assuming that all things will happen for you. That is what I mean and that's where God, that's why you have to have a relationship with God, for me personally, because he allows me to assume that all things will happen. So that's the power. That is the belief I'm given. That is the thought process I'm given. That is the connection that I'm given. See, now without that relationship, there was doubt, there was hesitation, there was disbelief, there was procrastination, there was laziness. But when I fully understood God's role in my life and his abilities, because I remember every single thing that he's done for me, especially when I didn't have things. Anybody ever been there before? I remember every single thing that he's done for me when I didn't have anything. But when I began to grow, when I began to develop, when I began to have more resources, imagine how much more y'all can do together, right? Because I never stopped forgetting that no matter how much, no matter when times were high, no matter when times was low, he still provided. So if I do right on my end, and then I mix in that power through a sprinkle, a little power of assumption on there, AKA faith, trust, right? That's the shortcut, all right? Then all things will happen. You always just assume that all things will happen in your life. That is the greatest way you can live. And that is the way that I live. And it has changed my life, all right? So last but not least is take massive action. Don't be afraid to take actions, guys. Y'all know, y'all gonna hear that too. We're going to hear that over and over again. Be consistent, take action. But the question is, every time you hear it, do you have conviction? And how long have you been hearing it? And how long have you been having conviction? All right. A lot of people are paralyzed because they are afraid of doing something. Something a lot of times is easy, something wrong. But a lot of times they're afraid of making a mistake. They're afraid of doing something wrong. That's just resistance. The best cure for resistance is always taking action. So whenever you feel resistance, whenever you feel uncertainty, just take action on the things you do know. All right. There's no reason to fear failure, because so-called failure is just unfinished business. All right. Failure is just unfinished business. All right. So every action you take is going to show you where to go to next, but just keep taking actions. You can never take enough action when you have a big goal. He always says, this is good. All right. Bob Proctor said, this is good. All right. He talks about a story where, and I'm almost done. I'm closing. He talks about a story when he wrote his book, You Were Born Rich, lost the book in a taxi cab. And he said he was kind of heartbroken at first, but then he said he started changing his thinking about Well, what made this so good? Why was that so good? Why was that book I wrote so good? The book that I lost, the book that I would never find again. What made it so good? And he started to think about why it was so good. He actually ended up rewriting the book, and it came out, he believed it came out way better than the first version. And that's where This Is Good came from. So always remember, even in the moments where you feel like you lose things or things may come out of things may be misplaced. Just remember, well, why was it good in the first place? All right. Why was it good in the first place? And you'll always reconnect. You'll always come up with something better. You can never lose the gift. You never lose that vision within you as long as you continue to believe in it. You stick with it. All right. So continue to persevere, family. Continue to know what it is that you want. If you don't know what you want, take a break. Sometimes we're so busy serving what other people want, we don't even know what we want no more. So have a date with yourself. Take yourself to the library. Take yourself out to eat. Don't bring nobody with you. Don't get on your phone. All right. Spend time with your thoughts. Spend time with your thinking. Get to know yourself. All right. A lot of people spend time on social media because they have no goals. They're bored. All right. I realized, I said, you got time now. Social media can be a tool, business tool. All right. It could be a learning tool, but that means you have a conscious awareness of what you want and what type of value you want to get from it. I heard Nipsey Hussle say the other day, I don't listen to no songs, no music, no people that don't add no value to my life. If you ain't smarter than me, I ain't even trying to hear you. All right. If you're not going to give me something that's going to change my life, I can't put that inside my spirit. All right. So be aware of that, family. What you want, go after, and be consistent. It's so simple. Isn't achieving our goals simple, guys? Yes or no? What y'all say? Isn't achieving our goals really just simple? But we be on it. We be on it. We be on it. All right. We be BSing around. We ain't trying to be serious. Right? Have a real conversation with yourself. Are you being lazy? Are you overcommitting yourself to things and other people's responsibilities? Right? Because it's your life. It's your life. You got to choose your life. You can't just hold everybody hand. Right? Are you avoiding learning how to be better financially? Are you avoiding picking up the books? Are you avoiding the conferences? Are you avoiding the YouTube clip and the TikTok videos that will educate you? All right. I'm talking about education, not leisure. All right. Are you avoiding apologizing to somebody? Forgiveness. Are you avoiding being transparent? Are you avoiding being real with yourself, your health, your mindset, your emotional state? What are your state mentally? Right? Be real with yourself. Stop lying to yourself. All right. And get it done. All right. So like I said, 52 weeks, your identity will be revealed. So start developing the routines and the habits now. So we can say February 28th of next year, we're going to see what changes you made and what choices you decided to keep. All right. If you need to make a change, if you keep getting results and if you keep having these same results that keep pissing you off, then maybe you don't realize you need to start relying on your own thinking. That requires humility. If you keep pissing your own self off, stop depending on your own thinking. Start leveraging other thinking. Start learning. That don't mean you have to hire somebody a lot of times. A lot of times it's just learning new information. I want to stop being broke. Guess what I did? I relied on a guy, and he taught me how to trade, and I got some tips from him. And then I just improved what he taught me. And then guess what I did? I read Science of Getting Rich. I read Richest Man in Babylon. I've been looking at videos on YouTube about investing and stuff. Everything that you want is already online. It really is. But guess what? We keep lying to ourselves. I don't feel like getting on the internet. I don't feel like, but you feel like laughing, but you don't feel like laughing with money. You feel like laughing at being broke, but you don't feel like laughing at being wealthy. You got to make a decision. All right. All of it requires, I hate reading. I don't really like reading, so I ain't gonna really do that. That's you still relying on your own thinking. And that's the past version of being the present. All right. So just trying to give you guys some different perspectives. But anyway, next 52 weeks, guys, it's February 28th today. This is the end of Black History Month. And my question for you on tonight is, who will you become? All right. Who will you become? Remember, failure is just unfinished business. Y'all with me? Failure is just unfinished business. And the biggest takeaway I want y'all to get as I close is to remember the power of assumption. Just assume that it will happen. Now, not just gonna fall in your lap, you're gonna sit at home and watch TV and scratch your butt all weekend. I'm talking about, you're doing the right work, you're doing the right thinking, you're doing the right activity, you're doing the best you can do every single day. You're earning, all right? You're earning and you're setting that desire out to the atmosphere so God can be attracted to you. And you assume that it's going to happen for your life, the power of assumption, all right? So let's hashtag in the GW chat on tonight. POA. Y'all ain't got to write power of assumption unless, I know some of y'all don't know how to spell it, assumption. I'm just kidding. Let's just hashtag POA. They're going to be curious. I'll drop it in there, all right? So the generational wealth chat, let's type in POA, power of assumption. Because I believe every single person on this call can get what it is that they want. I know it for a fact because I trust God and I've seen him work in so many amazing ways. All right. But I love y'all. Hope y'all got some value tonight. If y'all got something tonight, give me some feedback, some ones, some flames. You can shoot some darts, thumbs down, thumbs up, whatever you got. Just talk back to me. I appreciate y'all being here tonight. We'll be back next Tuesday with the power within. Hashtag POA in the GW chat. We got the money signs in the chat. Steve, good to see you, family. Y'all have a blessed night. Peace and blessings to you.